What's good, YouTube? Today's video is going to be about if men are intimidated by successful women. A lot of women talk about it's hard to find a good man who isn't intimidated by their success. They believe that the eligible bachelor pool is very shallow. A woman asked me once, why are men so intimidated by successful women? My answer to that question won't necessarily fit the narrative that you've heard, but it's the absolute truth. So here it goes. It's enough broke-ass men couch surfing on multiple women's couches to show us all that men don't mind when a woman is the primary provider in the home. Men aren't necessarily intimidated by a woman's success. They're intimidated by who a woman becomes after that success. For instance, a lot of women who are successful don't know how to leave their title and that responsibility at work. When they come home, they treat their man like an employee. They don't share in decision making, they don't ask his input, they don't cater to him at all. They're not soft or nurturing to him in any way that a woman usually is. He's treated as a subordinate. They judge him like a subordinate, they talk to him like a subordinate. They bring that same authority home and try to rule the household as if someone's going to get fired if things don't go the way they want. Intimidated is an overused word, and it's the wrong word to describe how a man feels when his woman is successful and doesn't know how to separate that success from their home life. Another example of why men might have an issue with a successful woman in particular is sometimes it leads them to demasculinate their man. They talk down to him, they don't allow him to lead as a man because they're used to leading in their jobs. It also leads her to a place where she doesn't really do much for him because she believes as the breadwinner, she owes him nothing. And again, this isn't all successful women, but these are the concerns that men have and the things that men go through sometimes with successful women who aren't mature enough to separate their home life from their business life. Another issue that men have with successful women is every argument starts with the fact that she makes more money than his sorry ass, and that reason alone is why he should shut the hell up and do whatever it is that she wants him to do. Never make your paycheck a point of contention in the relationship. You don't get to bring it up when you're upset. If you bring it up when you're upset, what that tells him is that everything else that he provides in the relationship doesn't help. It completely takes the air out of a person when the thing that they think they're providing doesn't mean anything or isn't being appreciated, and especially when a man's not providing the financial balance in the relationship. See, because in reality, a lot of women go home to a man who makes less money than them or who just flat out is living off of them, and it still works. That's because in their nature, they are natural caregivers who love the traditional nurturing role of being a woman in the house. So some women go home to a lazy ass man that don't work, don't do nothing, and they still cook, clean, and wash his drawers. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. What I'm saying is there are many types of personalities among women who allow themselves to submit to the masculinity of a man. Some women embrace the traditional roles of the sexes while still making more money. Men love these types of women. Just because you're the boss at your job doesn't mean you can't come home and be feminine and be soft and be nurturing and cater to your man. That doesn't mean you need to do everything in a relationship. But making more money doesn't exclude you from the responsibilities that the man and the woman have to each other. People always say men are intimidated by successful women. It's not the success they're intimidated by, it's the attitude problem. Compound that attitude problem with the authority that comes with being the breadwinner of the home, and the average man is going to run for the hills. The bottom line is men in their very nature are providers. So you have to allow a man to provide something in the relationship. If you don't let a man provide for you financially, you have to let him provide for you emotionally. You have to let him protect you physically. You have to let him be a support system in your life. Men want to feel needed just like women do. You need a man in the home to make it whole. You can't sleep with your paycheck. You can't make love with your paycheck. You can't start a family with your paycheck. So women, if you are successful and you're looking for a good man, there's a lot out there, but the thing is, you can't be a boss. You have to be an equal. So if you're successful and you're having trouble finding a man, or once you start a relationship, just remember that your job or your title or your paycheck doesn't give you the right to act like the man in a relationship. Let that guy lead sometimes. Let that guy make some decisions. Let that guy feel needed in a relationship. Don't tell him that you don't need him. Don't tell him that you're independent every time you get pissed off. Don't tell him about how you do everything for yourself and you don't need his support. Let him be your emotional rock if he's not your financial rock. Let him protect you physically. Let him take over in the bedroom. Find a way to share in the authority of the relationship, and you won't have a problem keeping a man, no matter how successful you are. So are men intimidated by successful women? The answer is no. That's a myth. That's some shit that a woman with a bad attitude tells herself after a failed relationship in which she probably abused a man emotionally. That's all I got to say about that. Like, comment, subscribe, share my videos if they're helpful. I'm gonna start my workout. Y'all be cool.